What's going on in the Steelers locker room right now, do you think, with Trubisky getting benched and Pickett came in, threw an interception, but definitely gave the burst? What do you think is going on in that locker room right now?
Well, I think they're rolling with the punches, man. I think this is a team that has some talented players, and I think the frustrating thing is, for whatever reason with Mitch, it just didn't feel like they got up to top speed. And I think they didn't help this kid with some of the drops over the last couple of weeks, but they're just not explosive with the guy. And it's not like Pickett's going to be 50 yards down the field all game. There's going to be a lot of dinking and dunking. But, the first pass, he goes out there and tries to wing it. And I think it's reasonable to say that wasn't a terrible throw and maybe shouldn't have been intercepted. You make a little bit more competitive play on the football. I think he could give them a spark. I was wrong. I thought Trubisky would be able to hold on longer in Pittsburgh. But you can't – I'm not saying you can't go back now, but it's really hard to go back. And I know B flows on that staff up there, and maybe he's in Tomlin's ear, and he's like, hey, I've done the two quarterback thing before. But there's no Ryan Fitzpatrick on this team. There's nobody who's got the top end kind of production of a Ryan Fitzpatrick. You've kind of got two game managers. One's younger and has a higher ceiling, so it seems.
And then Jerry Jones said to Cooper Rush, hey, put a quarterback controversy on my plate. He's now 3-0. Yeah. I still don't think that there's a quarterback controversy there, but no. What do you think?
I mean, I could be wrong. I can only tell you what I'd do if I was Jerry. I'd give the guy that's been wildly productive for you and been through a lot a chance to come back and show that he can match Cooper Rush's production. And really, it's not even about Cooper Rush's production. It's just about winning games. It's about the rest of the team playing well. And we always talk about this when a backup comes in the game, people elevate their level of play. It's like without even knowing it. People overcompensate for each other. Offense is overcompensating for defense. The offensive line's blocking a little bit better. Defense is playing a little tighter because, maybe you don't have that explosive offense. Another thing is the Cowboys are getting healthier outside, right? So when Dak gets back, I hope they give him, a fair shake here. I don't know why they wouldn't. Do you think there's a controversy in New England there?
What, the Zappy? The Zappy moment?
I'm joking.
No. Hey, man, no. If Mac Jones can't go next week, that's Zappy's gig, man. I think.
You think so? I think it's Hoyer's gig.
Come on. Come on.
What did you see? All right, so here's the deal. And by the way, I just wanted to shout out. I want to get to this game so I can shout out Rashawn Gary, your Michigan guy.
He was great, isn't he? I mean, that defense is no joke. Yeah.
He's playing his butt off. But Zappy, man, he sets so deep. His release is really long. The ball does take a second to get there. I'm not piling on the kid, but Brian Hoyer, they were efficient early in that game. It's not like Hoyer was stinking it up. I think Bill had a great game plan, and that was going down to the wire no matter what. So that was an interesting ball game. That was maybe the most interesting game yesterday for me. Bill just saying, hey, we're going big personnel like 20 times. Like, we're just going to run the ball obnoxiously, and we're going to see up it. And it did soften the Packers up a little bit, and they were able to hang in there.
But who's more soft than the Lions defense right now? That's next for them. Let's see a little Western Kentucky action against the defense that's given up 50. Let's roll.
Gosh.
Come on.
So I feel bad there. We were just talking about this, man. Try to think back to the last team that was so prolific offensively and so bad defensively. I was thinking about the Saints in 2012. You remember when Spags was the DC in New Orleans, and obviously they put up big numbers, but that team ends up 7-9. And most of these teams that are real good in one area and real bad in the other, they end up kind of 7-9, or now it would be 7-10 or whatever, or 8-9. But that math is tough for me, But it's you end up in the middle, and I think for Detroit, if you had said at the beginning of the season this is going to be a just under 500 team, you would have said they're taking great steps, right? But I think the tough thing is that Dan and the Lions showed us that they're actually pretty capable. And so now we want more, right? And I think that's tough for them, man. They've played themselves into a situation where their standard is higher than it's been in the past.
Mm-hmm.
7-10, 8-9 Detroit Lions would have sounded pretty palatable to somebody living in Detroit this year, but not the way they're losing these games, man. It's frustrating. You're getting 45 points out of a Jared Goff-led offense. Like, they're legit offensively with a bunch of guys down yesterday.